I just muted Deb because I knew what she was going to say. And so I decided to mute her. And so now if you can't hear her, there's a reason for it because I muted her. Because I know what she said.
Myself.
She said happy Tuesday and I wasn't going to have it. So there you go.
Is that why you paused?
Yeah.
You're like, watch, I'm just going to mute her.
I had to make sure I was ready. Yeah. So welcome everybody to Connectable.
Happy Tuesday.
It's too late. Doesn't mean the same when you have to unpause yourself or unmute yourself. It felt good. It felt really good. This is going to be a good episode.
Yeah. Did you like how the last episode with Kaylin and Deb, I said happy Monday? I don't know. Did I say happy Monday? It was a Monday.
Oh, you did. No, you made a point of saying that because I was not there. It's good to be back. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm sure you missed me. Now, that being said, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, my presence was still felt because I left as you do, if you are allowing someone to watch your house or babysit your kids or watch your pets, not saying you're one of my kids or my pets or my house, but I'm just saying, I have to make sure that there's some notes when I leave this podcast because we know that you had your own podcast for a little while that hasn't been available for quite a while. And so I'm like, yeah, let's leave some notes. Now, I think on the episode you did mention, like, how long did it take me to write that? I'll say this. It took a little while initially, but that's something I had in the can for a while now because a previous guest who I'm not going to say their name, but it rhymes with Nicole Scott, was supposed to read it about a year and a half ago for me when she first co-hosted, but she did not. And I listened, and like she did not read it. And so I've been saving it for this moment. And I knew Kaylin, even though I don't know Kaylin, from everything you said, I'm like, Kaylin will come through. And Kaylin, shout out to you. You came through. You read it perfectly. And all the right inflections and everything. It was awesome.
I had my perfect opportunity to just podcast with my friends and you couldn't stay out of it. You just couldn't help it. But that was pretty funny.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And yes, you're like, I think he called me Debbie on purpose. 100%. That was one of the first things I wrote. Sometimes like with TV shows or movies, they write the ending first. I'm like, this is where we're going to start.
Oh.
Debbie. And then from there, just had to figure out the rest.
I knew you wrote it and she didn't say it just to say it because no one calls me Debbie. I'm like, she didn't just, no, he wrote that. He wrote Debbie.
Right.
Those are fighting words. So, okay.
Oh, I know. And I'm going to be honest with you. Probably your biggest mistake on this podcast and all of our podcasts that we've done for over 4 years now was saying that you hate being called Debbie. You telling me that was the biggest mistake you could have made. Cause I'm like, I heard that. I'm like, well, that's what I'm calling her now.
I don't hate it. I just won't respond to it. I'll just be like, just make a face and just walk away. Like,
now, can I tell you something funny though? And this is not because of me. I promise you, this was a completely separate thing. I had no influence on this at all. You've met my pops a couple of times. He's in the fantasy football league that you used to be a part of, but are no longer a part of. And so,
because I won 1 year. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, it's like, we can't have this because she doesn't pay attention or her friend is paying attention for her. And we just can't have this. So, but anyways, you've met him a few times. You don't know him well and he doesn't know you very well. And so every once in a while, he's having an amazing fantasy football season. He's still undefeated. And every once in a while, we'll be talking about fantasy football. And he's like, yeah, it's always a bummer is when you lose to someone that's not really paying attention. Like, for example, like when Debbie was in the league, she beat me. Like, he doesn't, I think he forgot your name is Deb or he just calls you Debbie. That's not even because of me. I never made that joke to anybody. He doesn't listen to the podcast, but every time he brings your name up as far as fantasy football, he's like, yeah, Debbie, is she didn't want to do the league? No, Debbie did not want to do the league. Neither did Deb. So it brings some joy to my heart when he says Debbie, because he says it with such a pure intention, but has no clue that you hate it secretly.
What's funny is that even when I meet someone for the first time or just in passing, whatever, shake someone's hand. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'll literally say Deb.
Sure.
And they'll repeat back, Debbie. Okay. Nice to meet you, Debbie. I'm like, that's not what I said, but okay. Yes. Call me whatever you want. That's fine. I probably won't see you ever again. It's okay.
See, there you go. That's a good attitude to have. And yeah, no, I've gotten some emails, especially from people that have reached out before, asking about the podcast, wanting to be on the podcast. A couple of other things that we've received. They will say, "Hey, I don't know if you and Debbie would be interested in doing this thing." I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Let me ask Debbie. I don't think Deb's interested, but maybe Debbie is.
I
It's the
think
best thing ever.
I think it's just, I mean, Debbie is a common name. I don't know if there are more Debbies than Debs. I don't know. I don't know who is even named that anymore past, younger than me. It's a very old school name, kind of like Susan.
Sure.
Like very, it's pretty old school, I think. I don't know. No, I'm not even knocking my name or anyone who wants to name their kid Deborah, but I think Debbie is just more common than Deb. I don't know. I think people just automatically Debbie.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe. I mean, my
yeah,
mom has some friends named Debbie.
yeah.
Um, in their, I think in their 60s, maybe. And so I always associate Debbie with, a person of that age. Deb seems age appropriate for you. It seems like the youngest version of your name that you can have, I
Yeah.
think. Because I mean, Deborah sounds older. Debbie sounds, a little bit older. Deb is kind of like, don't forget I'm still young.
Debbie sounds super like sweet and girly, and I'm neither. So I just so
I wasn't gonna say that.
like Deb. I think
Debbie
it's
sounds very nice.
Debbie
De-
sounds
Deb
very
sounds gruff. Like Deb breaks windows and will fight you.
exactly.
Deb seems like someone that would be at the end of the bar at log off. And Debbie seems like someone that's in the flower shop next door.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fitting. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I take it as a compliment if someone calls me Debbie. I'm like, oh, I must look like a girl today. I don't know.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, there you go. That's an awful way to figure out your appearance for the day.
I'm like, I brushed my hair today. Okay, I'm Debbie today.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say anything else. Yeah, I'm
But
not even gonna say anything else.
he's
You
he takes 1 week off and he doesn't even want to insult me anymore.
No, I do. That's the problem. I do. See, you were worried about your episode last week and whether or not it would be offensive or this or that. I feel like some of the things that pop into my head would be so much worse, and I won't say it. So you're good.
Well,
Anyways,
anyway,
it's good to be
welcome back.
back. I was
Yeah.
on vacation, which was a lot of fun. That being said,
Hmm.
I did lose my wedding ring. Not great. Oops.
What?
Yeah, that's what happens. We play on the beach. We have a lot of fun. First full day on the beach. I got back up to the room and I kind of do this with my finger or with my thumb every once in a while, just out of habit. And like, oops, it's not there anymore. And so then it became this search, and like we like set up a perimeter on the beach in the area we were playing football, and it's like we were looking around, gone. We even offered to pay a lady that had a metal detector to scan the area. She did not take the money, but she was kind enough to give us a hand and did not find it. So I had to buy a new one. Luckily, they still had the same exact one that I had. But yeah, that was exciting.
Someone just like pawning that off right now, do you think? Or like,
Maybe it's like, did you know this belongs to one of the hosts of the Connectable podcast? This is worth millions.
that's crazy. Did Rachel just want to kill you or what?
No, she was cool about it. Yeah, that's what everybody keeps asking. Is like, even the guy, when I called the jewelry store on the trip, I said, hey, what can we do here? And I figure there's no like lost ring policy, but do you have this? And his first question was like, how much trouble are you in? I said, I'm not in trouble, but you would help me out a lot if you had the ring. If we could make this happen, it would make things a lot better. But no, the funny thing is, her and I had a conversation probably about 5 or 6 months ago, and I can't remember why we had this conversation, but it was basically saying that if I lost my ring, it'd be a bummer, but we don't have any inscriptions, anything like that in it. It's not like a family heirloom. It's nothing like that. And so I said, I always felt like if a woman loses her ring, it's far more significant, not just monetarily, right? Not just because it's more expensive, but like I just feel like the the memories that come with that are far greater than like a man's ring. I don't know. Man's horrible to say, but like something about it just feels different to me. Like if a woman loses her ring, it feels like a much bigger deal. Like I said, not just because financially it's more expensive, but because it just feels more meaningful. You know what I mean? Mine's like it's a lot simpler. It's just a band. I mean, it's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? And so now that being said, did it go up in price since we got married? Yes, it did. And that hurt. That hurt. It's like I got Black Friday deals. Like not black enough because it did not make that much of a dent. But you know, what can you do?
You do. How long have you guys been married again?
I don't know. I'm joking.
I was like, you are like 0 for 2. You lost your ring. You don't know how long you've been married for.
How dare you? No, it will be 8 years. It will be 8 years in June.
Well, I mean, anything after the pandemic, prices have like just like I think everyone's trying to recover. It's wild. Like
Sure.
I even see memes on Instagram. Now I didn't go Black Friday shopping. I just can't do it. I didn't even do Cyber Monday shopping this year either, but there's like reels and
Who would you
TikToks and
shop for
stuff.
anyways?
Who would I shop for?
Yeah, because we know that all your presents are in your closet.
Oh yeah, no, it's just it would be it would just be me at Ulta. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't do Christmas gifts this early. I'm not that put together. I just
Well, you
do
don't
I
really
do it.
do Christmas gifts at all.
I mean, I'm thinking this year I'm just gonna pass out massage gift certificates.
Okay, well, that's actually pretty good though. I had to think about that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Turn this in whenever you want. You can have a massage.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
We'll get yeah.
At least make them book it. So let me ask you this: going back to the closet, because this still fascinates me years later when you first revealed this. So, and be honest, how much carryover is there from year to year? Like, are there still things in your closet from like 3 years ago that you just haven't had a chance to get rid of?
No, I do a good job actually, believe it
Okay.
or not, of condensing and throwing things away because I move so much. So
Oh, okay.
I'm moving in a few weeks. I'm going to a different unit to the building next door. So I didn't tell you this. So I'm condensing more. So I'm downsizing back to a 1 bedroom. So I got to throw away a bunch of stuff. But because I move so much,
Did you say I need to throw a boy a bunch of stuff?
I need to throw away some stuff. Yeah.
Oh, the
Like
way it sounded, it's not like you
every
said you need to throw a boy a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't even know what that means.
like I need to throw things at
Just some
boys.
dude. It's like, here you go. Just so some dude. Okay. Anyways, Zoom messed you up a little bit there. Whatever you said sounded weird to me. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I move so much that I throw stuff away and I condense so much, not on purpose. It forces me to. So I don't have a ton of stuff in my closet right now. I think I only have a couple of quote like gifts left over from last year, just like random things.
Okay. So I'm going to push back a little bit. So and you kind of mentioned this already, so I'm going to give you credit. So you're not really good at it. It's just, it happens because you move so much.
Absolutely. That's 1,000%.
Okay. And so right now you have year-old gifts from last year carried over from last Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, like a couple maybe. I gotta go check.
And that's okay. I guess candles, cups, things like that.
Yeah, like little perfume bottles, like little mini like sample ones, like
Oh,
things like
oh man, to be a friend that gets a gift from you must be a wild ride. Now that being said, I have my wife and I have gotten a gift from you, which was very nice. I still use the cup. I still use the cup.
that.
Yeah, but I also know it came from your closet. So
Yeah, I think it did. I don't know where that came from actually. I'm sure it did.
well, that's
Can't even tell you.
well, we washed it before we used
I
it.
do like it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, they're great. We use them all the time.
I'm the worst gift giver. I like anytime my friends will call me and ask like I want to get a gift for, my girlfriend or my boyfriend. What should I? And I'm like, why? What? You're at who? Oh, I know your face is exactly my face. I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll just help them narrow it down. I'm like, okay, what do they like? And ask them questions. And then at the end, I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm horrible. I'm the worst
That's
gift giver.
that's tough. I feel like the only time someone should call you in regards to a gift is if all the stores are closed and they know about that closet of yours. And they're like, I need something. I forgot gifts for 5 people. Deb, what's in the closet? It's like, don't worry. I got a whole Bed Bath and Beyond in here. What do you need? Pillows? It's not gonna make sense because the thing says, Happy Thanksgiving for a Christmas present, but like I've got a pillow that says that. That's what I imagine this closet looks like.
Just a bunch of random things.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, that could come in handy at some point. But okay, good. So it's good to know that your closet is going to be replenished at the beginning of this Christmas season because you have to move.
Exactly. But
Do
anyway,
you enjoy moving?
uh, it's a lot, but I'm so used to it. I'm just like, meh, whatever. I moved. I've only been at this place for like 5 or 6 months. So this is like a quick move, a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I at least wait a whole year. So I'm not looking forward to boxing everything up and packing again, but I've gotten good at it. So I'm confident. I'm just like, whatever, I'll just get it done.
There you go. Well, good for you. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
moved to quite a few places.
I just don't hold still. Yeah. I like it though. It's like, this is why I can't own a home, nor do I want to, nor do I have the money to, but like I get to just bounce around and, and try out different places. It's great.
That's awesome. Good for you. I'm very happy for you.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you, because you and I were chatting a little bit. Oh, first of all, hold on. I'm sorry. First of all, before I mention this, uh, I was thinking about just this time of year and kind of thinking what we've done in the past, especially as we enter the Christmas season. And I remembered this is almost a little over the 1 year anniversary of the crab dick story, which still makes me laugh to this day. Uh, if you guys don't know what that is, I'm not going to retell it, but you can go back to our Thanksgiving episode last year. I think it's called Thanksgiving. And yeah, we talk about crab dicks. And we'll leave it at that. Enjoy. I might post that clip again because I enjoy that clip.
You should, because I need a refresher because I can't. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell the full story, but basically, a lady at the store asked me to pick up some crab dicks for her. We'll leave it at that. It's a good cliffhanger. Go check out the story.
There's a sweet little old lady.
Yeah, she's probably in her 80s, mid 80s. Just drops a crab dick on me in the middle of the store. You know what that's like for someone of my maturity level? It's tough. I didn't laugh. I didn't break, but it was brutal. So yeah, Deb and I last year around Thanksgiving went back and forth because it was around Thanksgiving time. And yeah, we went back and forth for quite a while. One of my favorite stories we've ever had. In fact, that's the one and only time that some content of ours has been flagged on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, I had to go in and submit something saying, hey, we didn't say anything bad here. This is a real thing. I forgot what I said, but it's like, I don't think we violated anything. They're like, yeah, cool. And then they put it back up. But I think it's still to this day, it's our most viewed TikTok, which is still not great, like 1,300 views, but it felt good. Felt good.
Oh man. Yeah, you need to post that again.
Yeah, maybe I will. I'll find it. I'll post it. But anyways, I wanted to mention that was one of my notes because I did realize that it's a little over the 1 year anniversary of that story, which is a fun one. So that being said, what I was going to ask you, because you mentioned this offline, are you moving out of necessity because you're running for your life?
Yes, always for my life, because I give out too much information and I put myself in too many dangerous situations. So yes.
You are one of the worst people I've ever met when it comes to that. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like when it comes to sharing too much, you might be at the top of the list for the worst.
I have to tell you, this whole week, I don't know what something is. I don't know. God is favoring me or the stars are aligning, but I have like escaped death a few times this week. Not.
Well, I'm glad you have a good attitude about it. Look at that. If you're only listening and not watching, the smile on Deb's face is just pure joy and happiness. Anybody else would be terrified and shaking. It's like, I don't even want to do a video podcast anymore. I don't want you to put my name out there anymore. No more personal information. And Deb has such joy on her face that you can't even describe really. But good for you. I'm glad you're handling this so well.
Yeah, 3 times I've been saved this week. It's great. But that's probably it for me. I need to be careful. I think I think I've hit my limit for the year.
You're like a cat. You have 9 lives.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So, anyways, okay. So, tell us the story. What's going on?
Oh
What
man.
have you What have you done this time, Deb?
I do. Well, so this is a massage story. So
Okay.
my massages I do like referral based. So, like friend of friends, people I know, a friend's mom or a friend's sister, like if it's someone that I've never met before. So anyway,
Sure.
very trustworthy. I go to houses. So, or I go, I'm a traveling massage therapist. So for the first time, I went to someone's place that I didn't know them, but one of my former massage therapist friends who has a place in Dixon, she referred him out to me. So she basically like messaged me. She's like, "Hey, this guy came in. I thought so his first name, I'm just not going to say it, but his first name is like a girl's name typically.
Okay.
So, okay. So Josh is trying not to laugh. You can't make faces. I gotta finish the story.
I'm just not sure what this has to do with the story, but I'm fascinated by how this
Hang on,
ties
I'm
in.
gonna say it. Okay,
I
because
can't wait.
so she only works on females. Like she specializes in working with females with trauma. Okay. So that's
Okay.
just her like she doesn't like to work on men. She just has a thing.
That's great. That's great work. That's a great thing she's doing.
Okay. So she sees like his name, I don't know. I don't know how, I'm not sure how her clients come and see her. She has a building. So she thought it was a woman and he walked in and is clearly not, obviously. And so she worked on him anyway. And then it confirmed it for herself. She's like, I just can't. Like, she's like, I just don't have the energy for him. And so
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I interrupt real quick? And again, if you can't answer these questions that I have for you, that's fine. What did you know what that meant? Like, did she explain what that meant?
I know it meant just because I know her and I've
Okay.
been with her, and there are massage therapists who I heard stories from like my instructors and other people who were already massage therapists in my class that are just taking more classes to take more classes. They will like get a client and work on them and just be like, we're not vibing. Like they just feel uncomfortable. Like it's something about the massage therapist too. Like we have to like be at peace and feel comfortable. Cause like, you're just even touching someone, like your energy is kind of, it's something I didn't get at first, but now I get it now that I've been working with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I don't know, it's an energy thing. So she and my friend who worked on this guy, she also has a history of like not good history with men. So she just is like, I just don't want to work on men. I'm
Sure.
just not them. So I get it. So far, I mean, I have male clients and they've been fine. They've been great and everything's good. So she knows that I work male or female. So she referred him out to me and she gave me a brief little rundown. She's like, he seems fine. She's like, he's a little odd, but he seems fine. She did give me a heads up that he lives like out, like in like a farm area in like the Vacaville area. And she did give me a heads up. She's like, he does live in like a fifth wheel, like a trailer. She's like, but on a property, I know. She's like, but here's where I like signed off on it too, is that she's like, I would feel comfortable going to him. And I'm like, are you sure? And she is very like careful. She's very like suspicious of everybody. Like that's the type of person she is. So
Except for
I'm
the
like,
guy that lives out in the middle of nowhere in a trailer. All right.
okay. So I was like, okay, are you sure? She's like, yeah. She's like, I would be fine going out there. She's like, I just don't want to work on him. And I'm like, okay. And so she gave me his information. He and I, swapped information. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt just a couple of times. So I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this. Was there not like because that sounds weird to me. Like those sound like two contradictory statements. Like she trusts him, but she doesn't want to work on him.
Yeah, because she doesn't work with men. she doesn't want to work with men at all. She's already referred me out to someone else's like husband. Like she only wants to work with females.
Right. But didn't she say that like the interaction with him confirmed that that's why she doesn't do that?
Yeah, but that's just her. So I don't know.
Okay.
So
All right.
she
Continue.
thought it was just her. She was just like, I just don't want
Gotcha.
to.
Okay.
So and I trust her. So, and then I told her the story later, and she was like, I would have never, if I knew any of that, I would have never referred you out to him. So, okay. So just giving you just a little teaser there. So anyway, so, so we exchanged information. The day comes for me to go out there to, drive out there. And he did tell me that I would pull up to a gate. Like there's going to be a gate. I'm going to have to come open it for you. And so when I get there, the address takes me to a gate, but there's nothing beyond the gate. It's like rolling hills beyond the gate, rolling hills and cows. Like I don't see anything. I don't see any houses. I don't see anything. There's nothing. And so I call him when I'm like, I'm here, but am I at the right spot? And I described the gate to him, and he's like, yeah, I'll be right there. Like I have to drive out there. So I'm almost there. And so I'm like, okay. So he does pull up, he opens the gate, I drive my car in, and we're on like dirt road, like rocky road. And he's like kind of like, I roll my window down and we, say, hi, nice to meet you. And he kind of looks at my car and he's like, and he looks at the road ahead of us. He's like, so you can either follow me, like I can drive and you can follow me. He said, and he's just again looking at my car because my car is kind of low to the ground. He's in a truck. He's like, or you can come with me in my truck and put your table like in the bed of the truck. I have plenty of room. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll drive. And so he's like, okay, that's fine. And so I follow him, and trust me, I'm immediately like contemplating, like, how do I get out of this? Like, I'm just gonna, okay. So I'm following him. And
Sorry, just so I have just for the visual, do you feel comfortable giving me like an age range? Like young, old,
like 50s.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, I think 40s, 50s. And so, I want to say more 50s, but so I'm following him, and I'm on a group chat. I'm on a group text with Kaylin and Deb actually. And I already gave them the address. I gave them his picture of his business card with his face on it, because that's what my massage friend gave me before I messaged him. She's like, here's his business card. This is his name. This is what he looks like. And so I texted that to Deb and Kaylin. So I'm following him and we're driving and driving and driving and driving past more rolling hills, past some cows. We passed a few like beat down looking homes, like barns. We passed some more rolling hills. I'm texting Deb and Kaylin, and I'm like, all right, so the address I sent you won't do shit for you, because you're going to come to a gate that's locked. So for the police report, you're going to have to go past the gate. You're going to have to go past the rolling hills. You're going to have to go past a lot of cows. And then we get to a sign that says, no trespassing, private property. Violators will be prosecuted. And so I gave them that information, and you're going to go past a sign that says this. And the whole time they're like, Deb, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? And get out of there. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna, I don't know. So we keep going, and then we get to another gate. So I'm already locked in one gate, right? So we get to another gate, and he has to unlock it, and I can see, his trailer like right there. I'm like, okay, so that is it, I guess. And there's like a house next to it, and there's like nothing else around. So we go through the gate. And in my head, I'm like, please don't get out of the truck to lock the gate. Please don't get out of the truck to lock the gate. And he stops his truck, and I'm like, oh shit. And he gets out and he locks the gate. And I'm like, all right. So Deb and Kaylin, I'm in 2 locked gates now. I was like, for the police report, just so you know. So 2 locked gates. Great. And I'm like, but I think I can bust through that gate with my car. Ariel can bust through it. It's fine. So we get to, so he pulls up next to his fifth wheel, and he pulls like right up next to it. And I keep my car back a little bit. And then I get out and I'm getting my stuff, and he's like, you can pull up closer. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, this is cool. I'm good back here. And so you know, we set everything up. I set the table up, and he like went outside, like he opened, the trailer, and I'm setting things up. I'm not even joking, there's an axe in the corner of the trailer, like inside, like in that
Makes
room.
sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, dibs, dibs. Okay. So he goes, outside to do something. And then he goes,
He tells his other hostages, be quiet.
I mean,
Keep your voice down. The massage therapist is here.
I can only get, I listen to true crime every single day. So I'm like, all right, I'm just like mentally getting ready. Right. So then he goes outside of the trailer, and then I hear him call my name. He's like, hey, come out here. I want you to meet my mom. So his mom,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold. Oh my gosh. What is this? Psycho? Oh my gosh.
so his mom, I guess, lives in like one of the houses, like behind the trailer, like through brush. Like I didn't even know there was a house back there. And so I meet his mom. And so his mom's like, oh, you drove all the way out here. And in my head, I'm like, I didn't know I was going to have to drive all the way out here, but yeah, I'm here. And so I meet her, say hi, bye, and so I was like, okay, noted. And so I finished. So that was weird. So,
Yeah. It's exactly like Psycho. I'm surprised she was still alive. Just
yeah.
like her corpse sitting there. It's like he keeps talking to her.
I'm like, oh, this is how, okay. And then the dead bodies are in the mom's house. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
It's a team effort.
So, so I
He's
set up,
like, no woman can ever take your place, mom.
so I set up my table, and then once he's like, so when my clients like need to like undress, I obviously leave or they go in a bathroom, or I go in a bath, like, some, obviously there's a separation there. And so I'm like, where am I supposed to go other than outside, I guess? And I was like, well, I need to wash my hand. I always wash my hands before, I touch my clients. And so I'm
Or
like, well, I
die.
need to, need to wash my hands. So I go into this like little bathroom in the trailer while he's doing, and I wash my hands, and like I like dry them on my shirt. I'm like, I'm not even touching anything. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I just get a brilliant idea, and I grab the back of my hair, I pull some hair strands out, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta leave my DNA somewhere. Someone's gonna find this. So pull pull a few strands of my hair out. And then once he's ready, like I was like, oh, are you ready? And I go out there and I make sure I sprinkle some of my hair on the ground. Anyway, so I'm ready. And then the whole time, so it's a 90-minute massage, and it was the longest. It was just, my goal was to have him face down the whole time, because I'm like, okay, I can see the axe there. That's great. I can see my car through the window. That was perfect, because no one's popping holes in my tires, right? I could see no
Uh,
one near my
you don't
car.
know what mama's doing. Mama might be handling all that stuff while you're in there.
I know, right? But I could see my car. I'm glad I parked back that way. So I was
Sure.
watching time. And so, yeah, so that was the longest 90 minutes of my life. And so,
So I'm sorry. Now I have to ask, and if it's inappropriate, just say it's not appropriate. But how undressed are we talking?
oh, he was like completely naked under the
That
sheet.
makes sense. I figured, but I
Oh,
thought I'd ask.
yeah. Yeah, completely. I mean, a lot of my clients do that. Like, that's not uncommon,
Sure.
but
That's more common in this situation.
situation, yeah. So anyway, it just, yeah. So when it was over, then I'm like, folding my table up, and he's like trying to talk to me, trying to like, can you come back? And I was like, well, like,
Try to keep you there longer.
I swear, no, it gets better. So then I'm, I, tell him the form of payment. And then he's like, I don't do that form of payment. Can we try this form of payment? Like, like Zelle or Apple Pay or whatever. He just took forever. He couldn't figure out how to like get his like pay me through the app, any of the apps. And we didn't
He's taking like a real apple and banging it against his phone. Like, how's this thing supposed to work?
I know. And we didn't get good service out there either. So
Makes sense.
I like loaded my car up. I'm ready to go. And he's like outside trying to get service, and he's trying to like pay me. And I finally was like, forget it. Maybe it will go through to my phone when I'm in town with service. Like, forget it. It's fine. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even care. Just get me
Sure.
out of here. And then so finally I was like, okay, so you need to like let me out of the gates, right? And he was just kind of like, oh yeah. And then so he gets in his truck. So I follow him. So I get out through one gate and I'm like, perfect, one gate down, one to go. And I'm texting Deb and Caitlin the whole time. And they just are like, you better give us like minute by minute updates now that you're done with the massage. Like, are you out of there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm driving, but I don't have great service. So I'm like, I don't know if my texts are going through. And so Deb even tried to call me when I was driving out there and it kept dropping her call. So she was like probably freaking out. So we go, so I'm out of there. We go through all the rolling hills, past all the cows again. And we get to the last gate and it's almost dark, like it's not quite dark yet, which thank God, because I was trying to like hurry up and get out before the sun went down. But the sun was just going down. So he gets out of his truck and I'm pulling up because I was quite a ways behind him because I had to drive slow because it was like a rocky, bumpy, like dirt road. And he gets out of his truck and he's just standing by his truck. And I'm like, oh, great. What? Like, is this where I die now? Like, I survived all of that. I got through the 2 gates. I got through the 90-minute massage, the axe. I got through all of it. Like, and it happens now, really. And so I roll my window down and I'm just like, hey, what do you need? And he's like, you need to just really quick 30 seconds. You just need to look at this. You just need to stand up and look at this. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I get up and he's trying to show me the sunset.
That is the last thing you'll ever see. Enjoy it.
I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, cool. This is great. Thanks. And then, I kind of like have one foot still in my car, kind of get up and turn and look type, I'm just like, no. And so I'm like, oh, great. Thanks. Okay. Well, nice to meet you. Okay. Bye. And I just get back in my car and then he finally opens the gate. I like just about sped out of there. I was like,
I would hope so. Jeez.
Free. Like, how when like a puppy is like locked in a crate for so long and they're just like need to get out because they have to like pee and you just open, just fly out. That was me. So I'm like, I'm free. And so that is my dramatic story of how I could have ended up on a true crime podcast. But, I didn't. So there you go.
That's good. I mean, yeah, it had all the makings of a very bad situation. So I'm glad you made it out of there.
It was just and so I told my friend who referred, I had lunch with her the next day and I was like, so that guy, and she goes, oh no. She goes, what happened? Was that not a good idea that I gave you to him? And I told her the whole story and she felt so bad. She was so mortified. And then afterwards she's like, how dumb, like you're a man. Like, don't you how do you not think that that's uncomfortable for a woman who doesn't know you to drive all that way out there to get locked in 2 gates, all that way out there, like, and to take forever to pay. So she went on and on. She was like, and he took forever to pay. Like it just, his payment.
I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised how many people, guys specifically, don't think that way. It should be common sense, but you hear stories sometimes like, you thought that was a good idea. Really?
That was a good idea.
He's like, what? It's a beautiful sunset. I introduced her to my mom. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Nothing could happen. What's the big deal? And I was naked and she was giving me a massage. How could that be uncomfortable? I don't know. Like, well, the cows were watching. Wasn't gonna do anything from a cow.
I literally was like, because I was just like, there is no one will find me out here at all. And so Kaylin, she was like, why didn't you, as soon as you went through the gate and started driving, why didn't you just like say you threw up in your car and you have to leave? And I'm like, I don't know. You're way more on top of it than I am. Like, I didn't even.
You didn't get paid. So you really risked your life for free.
Risked my life for free. I felt like I was on like a real life like TV show of like, I'm like, is this how it happens?
Yeah. How much hair did you leave?
I left a few strands.
Yeah, it's probably jerking off to that hair.
Yeah, gross. Gross. Oh my God.
I'm just saying. I mean, everything. Jordan, I know you're listening to this. You thought the same thing. You gave him a souvenir.
My DNA.
Yeah, he probably has like a Ziploc baggie now.
Ew.
He probably told his mom. It's like, look, it's a sign. The massage therapist, Deborah, whatever her name is, she does love me. I knew it. He was trying to seal the deal with that sunset too.
Oh my God. It
Like, if
was
I can keep her here for a little bit longer with this
anyway,
sunset, maybe she'll be mine.
stupid rookie mistake of me. Go out there. Now I'm like, I told my friend, I'm like, I am not, do not refer me anymore. People, she goes, no, I'm so sorry. So anyway, it was very it makes for a story. So
No,
there
it's
you
a
go.
great, yeah, it's a great story because you survived. I do think my favorite part is the mom. Like, I want to introduce you to my mom. What?
That was just wild. The whole thing was wild. The
Which
whole
I
thing.
feel like introduce. I don't know how you feel because you were the one that lived it, but you would think introducing, like, if the mom is there, some people would feel like, oh, that gives me some comfort, or it has the exact opposite effect. Like, this makes it more creepy for some reason. How she must have been super old.
Yeah, she was like she's a little old lady.
Yeah,
Oh, right away, my brain was like, oh, he lures girls here and the bodies are in mom's house. Got
yeah.
it.
Mama has to protect her baby boy.
Swear. I can't. The only way for me to get through that day was through humor. Literally, that was going through my brain. I'm like, okay, the axe is there. Dibs on the axe. I'm going to keep him face down on the table for as long as I can. I'm not flipping him over until I have to at the last minute. Like, I'm in control right now. I see the axe.
He's like, that's all I need is a minute. Flip me over. I
Um,
haven't podcasted for a minute. I got a lot of
well,
stuff to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah,
flip, yeah. I'm not, like I said, it's not mature, but the flipping over part would be, in that situation, would be awful. Because, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, you just don't
the
know
whole
what's
thing was awful. The whole
sure.
thing was.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you survived.
I did.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Not much to say. I think we've said it all on that as far as that story.
Like, I don't know what else we talk about from here.
Well, it's funny you say that because you did mention when we were texting earlier, uh, changing plans uh, from what was originally planned for this podcast. Not going to get into it, but I did find something because you did mention that you had a massage story to share, and it sounded like it was going to go this direction. So I thought, okay, let me just do some research. So I found this picture right here, and it basically just has what not to say to a massage therapist. So I wanted to run through a few of these just to see what you thought. You cool with that? Do you feel okay being the spokesperson for all massage therapists right now?
Sweet. Yes.
Okay, nothing too bad. Couple of rough. Okay, is that a knot? We'll start easy. Is that a knot? Does that bother you if someone says that?
Like when I'm working on them and I hit a spot and they're like, is that a knot?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't get the problem with that one.
it doesn't bother. I mean, no, that's like, I haven't
If the
heard
person sat there is like, "Am I naughty?" It's something stupid like that. It's like, well, that's dumb.
they
I don't
try to
like.
do it.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
like you. I don't like that you did that. But this just says, "Is that a knot?"
It's weird by saying, is that naughty?
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, sometimes, I mean, okay, if they're asking it throughout the entire massage, then yes, like stop asking. Like that's annoying.
fair
Just
enough.
relax and enjoy and let me get your knots out if you have a lot of knots.
Okay,
But
fair enough. Uh, sorry, I'm 20 minutes late. Do I still get the full hour?
oh, I have not heard that one. But I imagine if I'm speaking for all massage therapists, that would be annoying if they were 20 minutes late and they probably because see most massage therapists have their own building or they work in a spa or whatever. I
Sure.
don't know that there's a ton of traveling massage therapists. I don't know. I guess I just don't know personally a ton. That's just what I do right now. Um, so the ones like when they have their own building, they have like a schedule, like on the hour, on the half hour. If you're 20 minutes late, they're not going to have time to give you the full 60 minutes. So they're probably going to say no.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
going to still charge you for 60 minutes because you're 20 minutes late.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're a massage therapist. Does that mean I get one for free?
Oh, like if they're like a friend or something.
Or like a therapist? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't quite get that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be annoying.
All right,
Don't get,
we'll skip
yeah.
that one. Uh, I bet I bet your hands get tired, huh?
I hear that so much, actually.
I bet. I think I
actually
asked you that. I think I asked you that when you first
oh,
started
you're
down this road.
tired. Well, and it's like it's not so much, it's not annoying, honestly, when people ask me that because they just don't know. And I'm like, well, like it's not like it's body mechanics. It's not so I'm not just like using my hands and like I'm making hand motions right now if you're watching on YouTube, like whatever. It's a
I'm sure
lot of
she's a better massage therapist than what she just did.
so I hear that a lot. It's not annoying to me personally. I guess it could get annoying to some massage therapists. It's not really annoying. It's just they
Sure.
don't you don't know how we're trained to give massages, I guess. But I think before I was a massage therapist, I think I would probably have that same question.
Sure.
Tired. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And I figure, like I said, some of these probably don't, you probably haven't encountered before. And because these people, the majority of these people, so they probably wouldn't do this to you. But um, what exactly does a full body massage include?
oh, well, if you're implying that you want a happy ending, then no, you can't have one.
That's
Don't
the
be
other one on here, happy ending.
straight to happy ending. I skipped to that part.
Yeah. I mean, they're right next to each other on this little picture. So they understood what was going on here.
like, so if they're asking, yeah, so I guess if they're asking like
Uh,
what,
Yeah, I think they're being a creep. I mean, that's how I look at it. It's like, so
well,
what exactly does a full body massage include?
it's your full body, you ding dong, not
That's what he's
everything.
hoping. That's a little ding dong.
Exactly. That's what he's hoping.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, it is. It does get old. I do have some guy friends. Um, my friend, my friends who are guys that I talk to often, when they make jokes like that, I'm just like, whatever. I just flip them off and walk away, like whatever. But when I have guy acquaintances make those jokes, like
Sure.
that's annoying. And I'm like, now I'm never gonna even no, like I can charge you double, and I'm still not gonna massage you after you
Nice.
make. You're
How do you
annoying.
feel about the podcast co-host that makes these jokes since you started massage school?
I hate him. Just kidding.
At least she finally admits it. What I've believed all along. All right. So it's kind of along the same lines. I'm assuming that this is meant to be a creepy thing, but maybe it's not. It really could go either way. But do I really need to keep the sheet on? I would love to. Now, that being said, if we take this away from the creepy avenue, and if you had someone genuinely say, "Do I need to keep the towel on?" because they feel like it would make them more relaxed, like that would be weird, right?
No, I would say yes. We need to keep the sheet on.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I said, even if it's not in a creepy way, it's not some like say it's some woman like she's like, do I really need this? Like, why would you not want? Why would you not want the towel?
No, I've never run across that before. But I mean, obviously that has had to happen to people many times. It hasn't happened to me yet.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
I've also, I think I'm in a fortunate position where I get to kind of choose my clients. Like, obviously, I'm not going to the murderer's house again, but like I get to choose them. And so they know me, or they at least know of me. I haven't, my clients have been amazing. So no one's asked a dumb question like that.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier. I figure this hasn't happened to you, but if it did,
If
it'd
it
be a
did, oh my God, I would just be like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
you
I'd
just
be,
say just
I'd be
keep the
like,
sheet on.
just keep the sheet on. And then I'd be like, and you can't come back. Like that was just annoying.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, a couple more for you. Is it weird to rub on naked bodies all day?
Is it weird? The question's funny. Is it weird to rub on naked bodies all day?
And I feel like that's like not even a creepy thing. I think that was a genuine question. Like, is it weird to touch people all day?
Just rubbing all over naked bodies all day
Yeah.
long. No, because it's not because it's not, yes, they are naked under the sheet, but I'm not like touching women's breasts, like rubbing up on their boobs. I'm not like
Well,
obviously
yeah,
happy endings. Like it's not like that.
yeah.
It's just
Be a
like
quick career for you. Can you imagine? She's like honk honk. Like, what did she just do?
it's muscle, it's just musculature, it's skeletal muscle. So it's not weird for
Sure.
me.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's the funny thing.
yeah.
Obviously, anybody who knows you knows that your background in kinesiology, all that, and even the episodes we've done where you've talked about um, like going through the schooling for all this, like that's partially what helps, like with like your interest in the schooling, right? Is like you're fascinated by the body and the muscles and everything and how it works. So it makes the school part of this whole thing a little easier to digest. For myself, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. No, I'm not smart enough for this. And so I'm going to probably do something different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but no, it's not weird, but I'm sure. Yeah. But I do get that question. They're like, oh, you're okay touching people. And I'm like, honestly, like it does not bother me.
Okay.
And
Let's see. Just a couple more for you. Let's see. I want a deep tissue. Sorry, it's getting a little blurry at the edges here. I want a deep tissue all over for 2 hours. My
Josh,
goodness.
Josh just needs to up his eyeglass prescription, his contact prescription.
I'm not, I can see close for the most part.
For wait, deep tissue for 2 hours? Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah. Seems wild.
Well, that's wild. Well, I've done 90-minute deep tissues. I've never,
Oh, that's not that bad
but
then.
yeah, no, no one's ever requested a 2 hour massage. And deep tissue, it depends. Like there are some, like when like there's been a couple of guys, that I've worked on, some friends some of my friends' husbands that
Sure.
are just bigger and their muscles are huge.
Yeah.
And even with all the body mechanics I know, and I just kind of like, I literally put all of my body weight like on certain body parts, their back and stuff. And they're like, you can do more. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I think you need a man to massage you. I'm just
I,
too little.
I have
So
I have heard that before. I feel like that's something that's come up with athletes, like specifically like NFL guys,
yeah.
where they have to have like a person of a certain amount of strength because they are. I mean, they're basically just these beasts of human beings.
No. And I don't take that person. It's not like I don't take it like, ego, like personally or anything, but like,
I'm weak. It's nothing like that.
yeah, no, but sometimes I'm just not strong enough for the bigger guys. But it forces me to learn like different body mechanics, so it's a good challenge for me. But a 2 hour deep tissue, just depending on who's asking for it. If it's my friend's giant husband, that I might have to charge him a lot more
Sure.
for like try to. But it's so funny with deep tissue. It's so funny everybody's different like levels of what deep tissue is for them.
Sure.
Like I have someone who like I will do like, in my opinion, just medium pressure, and they're like, no, that's enough. They're like, that's deep tissue. So for them, that's deep tissue. And then of course I have my friends' husbands that I'm just basically like putting all of my body weight on them, and they're like, I can barely feel that.
That you're tapping them on the shoulder.
So it's interesting, but yeah.
All right,
So
I got two more for you. One, I'm sure there's some scientific reason behind this. I don't understand, but you could probably give some insight to. I don't drink water.
like the client is telling me that I don't drink water.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it says. I don't drink water.
Okay, cool. Good luck, because
Okay, well, I thought there was like a common massage thing. Apparently not. I don't get that one either.
it is okay. So it's common for it's just common, I guess, public, whatever. Like after your massage, you're supposed to drink water because your muscles just got worked on. We're actually not even allowed to tell people that. Like we're not supposed to say you should go drink water. Because we're not allowed to prescribe anything. And even water. No, I'm not. That's what they taught us. They're
Oh no, I
like,
believe you. It just sounds dumb.
right. So we're not supposed to say that. So I don't ever say it. Some of my clients just have their water with them and they do it, but otherwise I'm just like, okay, you do what you do, you boo. You drink water, don't drink water, do whatever you want. But
I'll,
that's
I'll,
the thing.
I'll tell you
You
what. The
see,
guy in the field definitely didn't drink water. He probably passed out halfway back to his trailer.
right. But yeah, that's I think it's just common, people just like, oh, here's water after your massage. And
Okay.
so you can, but you don't have to. So
Okay. I thought there was being more there. I'm sorry I asked that one. Okay, and I've been told I give pretty good massages.
Mm. Wait, say that one more time.
I've been told I give pretty good massages.
Like a client is saying that to me.
Yeah, I feel like there's ill intent behind that one.
I'm like, oh, like, do
It's
they
like
want
your
to?
turn. Like what? That's not how
I know.
this
I was
works.
gonna say, like, you want to give me one? Like, no, that's not. I've never heard that one.
It's either like that or it's like, hey, I think I'm pretty good too. It's like, well,
Oh,
you didn't go to school. You didn't go to school for this. I'm better than you. Shut up.
to be honest, I would just be like, oh, great. I'm sure you are. I'm
Yeah.
sure you do.
I know a dude in a field. Go give him a massage. See if you survive the night.
See if you can handle all that.
Hey, you
Great.
know what? Maybe after that experience, maybe you would be okay for that haunted house thing that we talked about on our Halloween episode. You know, that one that's that insane. And you might be after that experience, you might be like,
Child's
easy.
play.
Unless he
Easy.
pops up. It's like, welcome. I'm like, oh no.
I'll be like, where's my axe? I should have taken that axe.
Yeah.
That was
Right. It's right next
in
to
the
the hair you
trailer
left.
right next. Yeah, I can't believe my friend, my friend's like, why would you leave an axe in it? Why? And I'm like, the whole situation was why.
I think the answer is pretty simple. I don't think we need to think too hard about why there's an axe in his trailer in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, I mean, he's got to protect himself too, I guess. It's protection.
From law enforcement that's coming to take over, try to take back the hostages that are tucked up deep underneath his trailer.
Should airdrop that location to police officers and be like, you might want to go check.
Yeah.
Go check out there, you guys.
Just maybe a drive-by real quick.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Man. Well, so
So this,
what'd you say?
I like how this turned into a massage episode, basically.
It was intentional because we had nothing coming into this podcast. I'm like, you know what? She's telling a massage story. I'm going to ask some questions about massage.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be honest. I was expecting some more fun stuff, but everybody was very serious about this. I'm like, this is not helpful for my podcast. I'm looking for the silly things, and they're like, well, what if I don't shave my legs? I'm like, this is not fun. Why are we doing
Oh,
this? Like, these are like legit questions people had. Like, what should I not do? It's like I get that is out there, but I really wanted more of the silly, goofy stuff. You know,
no,
so I did find the one like happy ending. Like that was more what I was looking for.
I've never been asked like an actual client that is like on my table. Like no one's ever said that. But just like in passing, like my guy
Sure.
friends, they just are like, that's like the first thing that they say when they're like, oh, you're a massage school. And I'm like, yeah, just go ahead and say it. Like, just because you're
Sure. Sure.
like, you don't get a discount. Bye.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But I see what you're saying though. The friend thing versus the
Yeah.
acquaintance would be weird
Yeah. The
because,
friend is funny, but the acquaintance is like, no, like, I don't know you.
well, because you start, yeah, it feels like you're coming very close. No pun intended. You're coming very close to the line there
Yeah.
where you can't tell with some people like if they're dropping hints
Mhm.
or if they're actually making just a true joke, or it's just it gets into a weird territory. So the fact that someone would make that joke would be bizarre, but
Yeah, no,
especially if it's about the jokes about themselves, like this seems wrong, but you know,
exactly. Just don't make it weird, people. Don't make it weird.
yeah, don't make it weird.
Make it weird and just don't drive out to people's houses in the middle of nowhere either. Don't do that either.
Yeah, that's never a good idea. Let's not do that again.
I'll do that again.
um yeah, what I will say this, one of the things that came up on my research for this podcast, and obviously again, you know, or have some kind of connection to the people that you're working on right now, but do you find that like like people being self-conscious about their bodies is because I feel like that came up quite a bit on the quick research I did for this, where it's like it's like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I've been working all day, like my feet smell horrible, or hey, I didn't get a chance to shower, or I didn't get a chance to shave, like all that stuff. Do you find that there is like there is that element to it? And then I imagine that part of what you do is you're trying to kind of just make them feel at ease, because if they're uptight the whole time then it's like it kind of defeats the purpose of why they're there, right? So is that something that you have to deal with quite a bit, or is that maybe overblown?
Yeah, no, that's a pretty common thing actually. I don't want to say every single time I work on a client, but I want to say like at least half of them
Sure.
will say that. Will be like, I'm so sorry, like I haven't, like my feet probably smell or I haven't showered. Like the exactly
Sure.
what you
Sure.
uh I'll just be like, I'm fine. And or I'll just immediately say, don't worry about that. Like just relax. Like I'm not, and I'll say I'm not worried about that. That's
Sure.
okay. Yeah. And it doesn't. I mean the murderer guy's feet, I won't even go for that. That was annoying, but everyone else is
Oh,
fine.
can I tell you this, Deb?
Everyone
You
else
didn't have to
was fine.
say it. You didn't have to say it. We knew. You don't live in a field like that
Oh
in a
man.
trailer. No offense to anybody who lives in a trailer. I'm just saying that made sense. Now was he a hairy guy?
Yeah, I mean most guys are. Yeah.
I'm not. Look at my face.
I'm not. Josh is like, I'm not.
I'm telling you this right now, and this is a well-known thing in my family. My arms, look at that.
Look at
I
that.
don't I don't shave my arms. My
Baby.
arms could, like when my girls were babies, my arms could rival their skin. No joke.
Well, this, yeah, from what I recall, I'm trying not to remember. I tried to block it out, but I think he was, yeah.
You should probably do your best to remember a little bit of the details. That way, if something does happen, you can say, I know exactly what this guy looks like. Look in the bathroom, my hair's there. Maybe. Unless he got
Or
to it first.
a baggie somewhere.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a zipper. Yeah, people will say, comment on, sorry if I haven't, what, so, and I'll just say, don't worry about it, just relax, it's okay. And so,
Sure.
well, yeah. And even in massage school, like people, when we worked on each other, like I would say it to someone, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so like, because we would be working all day. And then at the end of the day, and like, I walk, a lot of my classes were over the summer too. So like at lunch, we're walking around, it's hot, we're like sweaty. So yeah, at the end of massage school, I would even say sorry. And they're like, it's fine. They're like, we don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you're into this profession and if you have interest in how the body works, how muscles work, all of that, I feel like you have just a different either I guess not appreciation, a different tolerance for that type of thing anyways. Like you're not really focused on that as much
Yeah.
as someone else would. Like if I'm not, like for myself, it'd probably hit me harder. Like, I've been in some locker rooms that smell like this. This is tough. But for you, it's like you are there to do a job. You're there to do something very specific, and it's not like you're just there in the midst of this smell. Like you're working on the person's body,
Yeah.
and so you have a very specific thing that you're doing, and so you're probably more focused on that, anyways.
Yeah, nothing has bothered me up to a point to where I need to like tell a story about it. Like
Yeah,
the murder story, so far that I could tell, that I think is
sure. Yeah, it's a little
like,
different.
no, yeah, but like, no, it's, yeah, it doesn't bother me. And I'm focused on, I have a job to do and I'm focused on, I'm such an anatomy and physiology nerd. I'm literally, because my friend the other day, I was massaged her yesterday. She came over for one and she was like, what do you think about when you're like, because I was, we were chit-chatting a little bit at the beginning. And she asked me, she's like, what do you think about? And I'm like, I don't, and I had to think about it. I'm like, I don't know what I think about. I was like, sometimes I put music in my head. But I'm such a nerd. I'll go over the muscle and I'll say the muscle in my head.
Oh,
Like deltoids, biceps, triceps. And then I'll go over like the muscle on your back along your spine is called the erector spinae. So I'll just like name all so I'm literally like focusing on the person's muscles and like the separation like off the bone. Like I'm such a nerd. So so I'm just focused on their their muscles and their skeletal system.
yeah. I feel
And
like you should, instead of just saying it in your head, you should say it out loud and see how your clients react.
it'll be very relaxing for them.
It'd be terrifying. All of a sudden, you become the person in the trailer. It's like, oh my gosh, she's gonna dissect me. She's like figuring out my body and the muscles and all that stuff. She's gonna chop me up
But
so many different parts.
if I start saying the organs when I go along her back, kidney, spleen,
Yes.
they'll be like, "What are you doing?"
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Hey, maybe while you're giving some massages, if you choose to say some things like that, maybe just subliminally, just say, I don't know, back. I don't know. I don't know the specific muscles, but just drop in a connectable podcast. Download, subscribe on iTunes. Just toss that in there every once in a while.
Just like, well, because sometimes my clients will fall asleep a lot of the times because that's the only like
Yes.
moment for them. Just while they're in their slumber, I'll just whisper connectable and see if it like registers
Yeah.
in they're sleeping.
Yeah. And make sure when you do it, you get our handles right on social media, just so they know, like, oh, I need to check this out. Just a thought. Just a thought.
I'll try
Leave
that
a
next.
5-star rating and review. Yeah. Just a couple ideas. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
It's a good plan.
Um, one other thing that did come up, I want to ask you, and if you want to protect the innocent, that's fine. Uh, how often do people fart when you massage them?
You know what? Literally nobody has.
No one's gotten that relaxed, huh? Interesting. That was something that came up pretty frequently in my research.
No one has that I've noticed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No
All
one
right.
has. I
Now,
could probably
if they did, would you be able to hold it together?
um yeah, I would have to. I would be
There's
I
a
would
difference between having to and being able to.
I would
And
see their reaction first. I
if
would
they're
be
face down, okay, listen. They're face down. They can't see you. Maybe they're asleep. Are you holding it together? Are you doing what you just did where you put your hand over your mouth like this? What's the
just
move? Because I'm gonna be honest, and this is why I don't do what you do. I'm not mature enough. I would have to hold it together, and I'd
if
probably let
they,
out a little giggle.
if they don't say anything, I wouldn't say anything. But if they started with like if they giggled or like said like sorry, like acknowledged it, I'd probably just giggle and be like, it's fine, it's okay.
Okay.
But
But if
so
they
no,
didn't say anything, you wouldn't do anything.
no, I
What if
wouldn't.
it happened twice?
I, I probably still wouldn't. I would try not to say anything.
Okay, now she's trying.
It
Okay,
depends on who's because I a lot of my clients are like my friends. So if it were my friends, I
sure.
would laugh and just be
Oh,
like,
sure. No, I'm not talking about a friend.
okay, no,
I'm talking. The stakes are high.
I probably wouldn't say anything. Or I just wouldn't. I would try
Good for
not.
you. Good for you. I'm not sure I completely believe you, but
Professional.
huh?
To be professional and make them feel safe. I would. There's no. I would
I was saying
laugh.
if they do it a couple times in a row, if it's like a machine gun, it'd be tough not to laugh.
Machine gun. You
Maybe
know what?
smile.
Well, yeah, because if they can't see me, probably would smile. You know what happens a lot though, and some of them get embarrassed, and I just tell them it's fine, this is normal. So when they are on their backs, a lot of the times what happens during a massage when you're super relaxed is your stomach gurgles.
Oh, that
Like,
did come up on my research too.
oh yeah, it just means I learned it in school too. It just means that you're just relaxed. It's just how your body responds to it, I guess.
Huh.
I don't know the science behind it or the physiology behind it, but it just happens. And so it'll startle them. They'll be like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, no, that's normal, actually. It's okay. It's kind of like a stomach growl, but not. It's like
Interesting.
the growl has that like motor sound. The gurgle is just like a bubbly sound.
Huh. Makes sense.
Yeah. And so they'll either giggle or they'll be just like, oh, my stomach made a noise. I was just like, it's fine. It's normal. I mean, that's a good thing, actually. It's almost like a compliment. It's like, that's what they taught us in massage school. So
Oh,
our instructors would be giving like a demo. And then that person who is on the table, their stomach makes that noise. And then our instructor will be like, oh, did you hear that? That means they like it. Like their body likes it, I guess. And
you're
so
talking about a dog.
yeah, I
The dog.
know.
See the dog's tail wagging. They love it. They love when you pet the dog.
Exactly. It's such a weird thing, but that happens a lot. And sometimes they're embarrassed. And then I have to tell them that it's normal.
All right. Makes sense. My stomach has growled getting a haircut. And one person's commented, it's like, you hungry? Yes, I am. It's been a very long day. And I wish you would hurry this up because I would like to eat something. But yeah, it's happened one time. Every once in a while, it'll happen in the barber's chair, but only once have I been called out for it.
Nice.
And it was true. I was hungry. and she was taking a very long time telling me her life story, which I was not interested in. So
They tend to do that.
yeah. Do you? So okay, I know we're gotta get out of here pretty soon. Do you? Is this like one of those like Uber situations where you can say if you want the person to talk or not? Like, do you just feel that out, or do you just
Like if I feel I know what you're asking. Like, do I talk to them or do I let them talk to me when they're on the table?
yeah, is it like an explicit thing you're saying? Do you want me to talk to you or not, or is it just a feel? You have to feel it out.
I feel it out. I don't initiate any conversation.
Okay,
Because I want them to relax, but
sure,
sometimes they want to make small talk and that will help them relax depending on who it is. So if they start talking to me when I'm I'll ask my initial questions like, do you want me to avoid any areas? Want me to focus on any, just after I'm done asking my massage specific questions, then I shut up. And then if they want to talk, I'll talk, but I try not to ask follow-up questions because it's like it's not I try not to make it seem like we're chatting over coffee, like I'm
sure,
doing a job and I actually sometimes need to focus and
sure.
not because I don't want to like be like, oh my gosh, did I go over their forearm or not? I don't remember because I've been talking this whole time.
That makes
So
sense.
I will give minimal answers. And then usually after a while, then they stop talking and then I can hear the pattern of their breathing. It shows me that they're like kind of almost falling asleep. Like
Mm,
they relax. So then I'm just like, for sure. Cause I want them, their goal is for them to relax anyway.
sure,
But I have some clients that will talk to me the whole time and that's what they want and I let them, but I won't continue it or initiate it because I have clients that specifically come to me because they don't want to talk. And then I'm just so the ones that come back to me over and over again, I kind of know their pattern and then I kind of get used to that. But new clients, I won't initiate conversation or ask follow-up questions. I'll just answer questions. And if they want to keep asking, then I'll just keep answering,
sure.
just keep talking with them.
Makes sense. Okay.
Just kind of feel it out and see what they want.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're on the table. This is for you. So whatever makes you comfortable.
Yeah. You want to do a podcast? You want to talk that much? We'll do it.
We'll do it. I'll try not to forget what body part that I just went over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't meant to be a massage conversation, but like I said, sometimes when you scramble, you just roll with it. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We went with the massage conversation because you survived your horrible massage experience. So very happy that you made it back.
I lived all my lives this week. So I need to be careful now.
Yeah. Walk carefully. Somebody wrap Deb in bubble wrap because she is risking it every time she walks out the door. I do have to bring this up because I did see this picture over break and we have not had a chance to talk about this. And I know it's a professional thing. I know it's what you need to do, but you looked absolutely ridiculous wearing your silly lube belt. I just feel like as your co-host, I needed to mention that because it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It was like you were getting ready to sell waters at a ball game, but just one water bottle on your hip. I know it's a professional thing. I get it, but you have to know it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So good for you.
That's what I look like. And then, yeah.
And the guy in the trailer is like, that's what I want. So
Guy in the trailer, the murderer.
yeah, the murderer.
Oh my God. And then I was listening to a podcast that was titled, I went on a date with a murderer, or I, met a murderer. And it was like stories of like people met people and they didn't know who they were until later. And then read about them in the news. And I'm like, oh my God, that's gonna,
That's crazy.
I know.
You have to make me a promise that if that does come to fruition and that happens with this gentleman out in the field, you cannot talk to any news outlets. You have to bring that story here first.
Break it here.
Give us the exclusive, and then you can go to whatever news outlet you want. But you gotta drop that information here first.
Okay, deal.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then when I drop it to the news, then I will tag all of our social media.
I don't believe you will.
I'll say you can listen to I talked about this here's proof that I'm not making this up. I talked about this on episode 100, and I don't know what episode we're on
Once
November
this will be 162.
162. See, I'll be like, I talked about it and I'm not making it up.
There you go. Yeah, and feel free. Like, I don't want to. Here's my reason why I am hesitant to believe you when it comes to you dropping our podcast anywhere. Is I've heard you on other podcasts, such as Crystal Rose's podcast, and not once have you mentioned our podcast. You're on there all the time.
I never mentioned it once. I haven't been on there in a while, but yes, I was on there all the time.
And I don't think you mentioned us.
She was on Connectable. Yeah, I mentioned it.
No, yeah, well, she was on ours, but have you mentioned our podcast on hers? It's a different audience.
Yeah, she's put Connectable on hers before. Because when she and I did a swap one time, we did like 2 episodes, and one was a Connectable with me and her, and then another one was
sure. I know what you mean, but so different.
Connectable on hers, so it's out there.
No, it's different because even that I had to like send you the audio so you can send it to her. No, I'm saying on the podcast, on air, you say, hey, by the way, I do this great podcast. I've done it for a few years called Connectable. Follow us here. You've never done it. I'm just saying, either you don't care about us, or you just don't even think about us, which I'm not sure which one's worse.
No, I'm just horrible at advertising, and this is why Kaylin has to run my massage.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Horrible. She literally will text me and be like, hey bitch, text me your availability. I gotta post your schedule. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's my availability. Like, she runs all of it. So that's part of it too. I'm horrible at marketing.
Good work, Kaylin. You do a great job. And I had a pretty good feeling it wasn't Deb running that when I first saw stuff start popping up. So good job.
She does such a good job.
Takes a whole team to run Deb's life.
I don't know what I would do without everybody. Without Josh running this wouldn't happen without you, because I just show up.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I know we're trying to wrap this thing up, but I'm glad you said that, because on the episode that you did last week without me, you guys did try to kick me off this podcast. I'm very glad that you brought the fact that if you did kick me off, nothing would get posted, because Deb already forgot how to do this. And so,
sure.
Yeah, I'm glad, because at first I'm like, she's not going to mention that. It's like, she wouldn't know what to do. And then finally you came full circle. I was like, you know what? He needs to stick around, because I don't know. Like, thank you. I'm glad that we tossed that out there, because I was like, I'm going to call her out at some point if she does not mention that, because there's been plenty of times on this podcast, like, you know what? I already forgot how to do the podcast stuff that you taught me. And so I don't even know what's going to happen with, not here to judge. I'm like, I know what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to sit there.
It's sit there. Exactly.
We'll talk. Anyways.
This was fun.
This was fun. Deb, where can they follow us if they would like to follow us on social media?
Follow us to listen to more crazy stories on @Connectable Podcast on Instagram, and Connectable Pod on Twitter. I know I'm butchering.
Okay, can we redo that? Can you say it in a way that doesn't make it sound like you have a gun held to your head while you're saying it? You look like a hostage. This is what you did. It's like you can follow us at Connectable Podcast. Like, Deb's sweating for some reason. What is going on right now?
I second guessed myself. I was like, shit, it's Connectable Pod on Twitter, and it's Connectable Podcast on all other social media.
Yep.
My brain froze. It's not the first time. It's like when I forgot my aunt's name, it just froze. My brain just stopped working. You know
what's nice? You should feel loved and supported, because a lot of people came to your defense on that.
See?
I'm not like, oh, that happens to me all the time. I was like, don't let her off the hook. Don't let her off the hook.
Yeah.
But they did. A lot of people came to your to support you. So good for you. Good for you, Deb.
You just felt bad. They're like, yikes, that was rough. Okay. They're like, it's okay.
That's kind of what I was like, patting on the head. It's like, it'll be okay.
Fine, Deb.
Your family will never listen to this, and they're not going to care that you forgot her name. So it was fine. So yes, please follow us on social media, and you can also follow us and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. Both, if you want, that'd be awesome. We could use more subscribers on YouTube, and we could use more ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. if you could do that, we are still stuck. As much as I beg and plead with you people, we are still stuck on, I think, 22 ratings and reviews. So help us out. Get us to at least 30. Get us to at least 30. And then I won't complain about this for a little while. And then we'll go for 40. So that being said, thank you guys so much. And we will talk to you next week. See ya. Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable podcast.